In Conversation with Terry Shepard, award-winning broadcaster, narrator, and author. A deep dive into the writer's craft with the artists and support systems who create the stories we love.
Thanks, Lisa. Carla Vergot returns to the studio to update us on her fantastic protagonist, Lily Barlow. Carla came to writing full-time after a diverse career in education and nonprofits, launching the Lily Barlow series with The Mystery of Jane Doe, D-O-U-G-H, in 2018, followed by The Mystery in the Mangroves in 2020. Both books had new incarnations in 2023 and 2024. Book 3, The Mystery of the Tiles on the Tombstone, is available for pre-order, releasing in the spring of 2025. Carla, the last time we talked was in 2021. What's been going on in your writing life since then?
Let me think. That was when 2 was out at that point, right? 2021. Yeah. Yes. Because 2 came out in 2020. Okay. I had my whole writing, everything came to a screeching halt. I did not during the pandemic. Everything was harder. I get a lot of inspiration from travel, and we weren't traveling. So I felt like I didn't have the fuel I needed to really light the story, and it was a grind. So when this happens, it happens for all of us. And when it happens, you just have to rely on the fact that it is work. It is a job to do it. It is not magic. I said recently to somebody, it wasn't glitter and jelly beans. You just do the work of writing the book. And so I did that, but it was a challenge for me. It didn't come easily. And I felt like it was very glued together, oddly. And so when I finally got to the end of it, and then as I'm doing that, wrestling with this monster, I lost the first publisher. So that took 1 and 2 off the marketplace, and 3 is pointless if I don't have 1 and 2. So I had to really throw myself into the search for a new publisher, who I found, but that took time and energy away from the creative aspect as well. So I was really challenged with number 3.
Give us the 411 on the story.
So it picks up, I say this every time, it picks up right where the last one left off. And I have to remind people that the books take place in about a week's time. I think people think that it's going on for a lot longer than it is, but it's really a short kind of compressed period of time. So this series of 3 books has taken about 3 weeks of time. And it's important to refresh people on that, just because Lily is wrestling with, does she want to have this relationship with Jack? And I had somebody in my life was like, they should be getting married already. And I'm like, dude, it's 3 weeks. Give her a minute. Let her decide how she feels about it. And that's an important part of the story. There's a lot that happens. It moves pretty fast, but it's in about a week's time. They had gone down in book 2. They had gone down to Florida. They were sleuthing out something that they thought they had a handle on. Turns out they did not have a handle on it. Came back up to Virginia. She's based in Marshall, Virginia, which is really right up the street from me. And from there, I can't even tell. There's a big thing in it in book 3 that I don't think anybody's expecting. You read it. There's a big thing, right? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say what it is because I want people to be surprised. I hope you were.
I was. Yeah. It was not anything that I was expecting. I was going to ask you where that idea came from, actually.
I feel like that idea, I needed just a jolt, and I was going to use it as a vehicle to help make progress on some other fronts in the story. And so I wanted it to be a big splash, and I think I managed it. There's a second big splash later in the book, which hopefully that landed with you as well. But yeah, there were a couple big splashes, and I think because I was, as I said, just chunking things together during the pandemic as I'm not feeling inspired, I think probably there are a few more questions than I would have written into the book. I think there are a few more questions. Remember, book 1 had a happy ending. That was not a cliffhanger. Book 2 was a cliffhanger, and people went bananas because they weren't expecting that. And I don't think they loved it. And if they didn't love that, they're really not going to love this because book 3, also a cliffhanger. So
why? Why'd you do that?
Why did I do that? It's a little maniacal. I'll be honest with you. After I did the first one, I'm like, I wonder if I can top myself. And guess what? I think I did.
Do you feel more comfortable writing now than you did when you started?
I do. I feel I love to reference this quote, and you might know the story. It was on some cable channel. I think the show was called The Affair, and it was about a man who obviously had an affair, but he wrote a first book, and a character in this series said to him, who didn't really believe in him and was a little dark, said to him, almost everyone has a first book in them. Almost nobody has a second book in them. And that landed on me. I wasn't writing at the time I saw that, but I have carried it with me this whole time because I wondered, wow, am I going to be one of the people that don't have a second book in them? Is this thing going to end? Is this the end of it? Was that my swan song? I was really happy with book one. It was everything I had hoped it would be. And when I put book two together, and again, I thought it was a better book, I was a little relieved. I can do this. Now I know that I can do this. Based on this fictional character's assessment that may or may not be true. We don't know. But I said to myself, yes, I did book two. I'm one of the people who could do book two, so I'm prepared to do book three. And I know I have that skill set, not so much the voice talent skill set, but I have this. I can write words on a page. That I can do.
You said travel is part of your process. What other dimensions go into the creation of these stories?
Oh, I am a big fan of the people watching game. I can sit for long periods of time and just watch what people do. And I think that I gather the most subtle things and file them away for use in character development. My stories, I believe, are character driven. And the way that I make that happen is just give a lot of information. I don't think anybody really has to guess about, I wonder what this person looks like, or I wonder what the mannerisms of that character are. I'm pretty explicit when it comes to that, maybe to a fault. I don't know. But I gather things that I watch people do. And the more entertaining they are, the more likely they will end up in a story.
Are you more of a plotter or a pantser?
Pantser. 100% a pantser. When I did book one, I knew three things that needed to happen in the story. And that's it. Those were just three ideas. I had no plan of how to get to them. Nothing made sense in terms of how to work it out. It was just, wouldn't it be great if this book had this and this? Yeah, that would be great. And Carla, okay, let's write that. And a lot of pantsers just let the characters talk and they will tell you what the story is supposed to say. My best example of that was in book two, when I had the three characters, Lily, Jack, best friend, wants to be boyfriend, and Jack's brother, Joe. And they're at the hotel in Key West on the veranda of this porch. And Jack is asking Lily about what happened during the day. The boys had gone fishing and Lily and Story had gone to the police station to talk to the detective. And that, you had mentioned it when we first started talking here, that was, the word just took over. The story just took over. It is still my favorite scene. I recently reread 3 and I thought, oh yeah, I've got a couple favorite scenes in that book, but by far in the series, that is my favorite scene. It just came out of nowhere. And weirdly enough, I wrote it out of order, and I never do this. The first time I've done it. I wrote it, just this idea came to me. I knew that they were going to be there, but I wasn't in a place to start that piece of it. I'm pretty methodical. I reread what I wrote the day before, and I get myself in that mindset and I move it forward. I don't jump around at all. It goes straight through. But this idea had just come to me, and I knew I would need it. And so I wrote it. Now, taking it once written and plugging it in where it was supposed to go, very challenging. But I had to really weave it together to make it make sense. I think it does, but still my favorite scene.
The curse of a pantser is you often have to go backwards in the story to set up the idea that you got in the moment. Does that happen often for you when you write?
Surprisingly, no. Again, it moves in a very logical way for a pantser. It's just a very logical way my my muse works. She just whispers and it's always going forward. So when I had that one idea that was out of place, it has since put me in a position to feel like I've got more confidence in that particular technique, which I shouldn't have because I don't reweave those things very well. I think I saw some more of it happening in book 3 because of the choppiness of it. And I was moving things around in a way that I typically don't. So the reweaving part of that was tricky for sure. But if it's good and I'm just moving from point A to point B, it's a straightforward process for me.
Your branding for the series is fantastic. I love the covers of those books.
Thank you. I was really happy with, of course, I have a book here. You've seen it. The Lily Barlow on the first book when it was first released was very scrolly and scripty. And this one I think is still in script, but less swirly. So I think it's just you just latch onto it faster. You don't have to figure out, what does that say? That says Lily Barlow. I like also that this publisher has put on the front cover book 1, book 2, book 3. We didn't do that last time. And when you're looking at it online and ordering it from that thumbnail, you might not clearly see that, first of all, that it's a series or that you're buying the one that you're supposed to be buying next. So I thought that was an important change as well.
So what's next for you?
I've started book 4. I have to clean up the mess that I made in book 3. So I have started book 4, and I think it's going to be fun. There's something that's going to get done that sort of, as you've uncovered, is settled in book 3, and then we have to see where it goes in book 4. So I'm going to go ahead and work that out. If there are more, that's great. I'm not going to say that there won't be more Lilies. A lot of people want more. When I went into it, I was really inspired by Janet Ivanovich and her Stephanie Plum series, which I pay homage to her in the Lily series. And I think she's on 26, maybe. I realized very quickly I am no Janet Ivanovich. I don't think that I'll be able to do that. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I do have another story, a different story perking in the back of my mind that came up not long ago when I was working on some other stuff. And I decided, hey, I might want to go ahead and get that out. But I'm not one of those people who can read a number of books at one time. I'm certainly not one who can write books at one time. I feel like I would not be in character if I was doing that, jumping back and forth. So I haven't started it yet, but I am making notes.
The book is The Mystery of the Tiles on the Tombstone, available for pre-order right now from our special guest, Carla Vergot. Find her online at carlavergot.com. Carla, I always love talking with you. Thanks for joining me in conversation.
I do too. I love our time together. Thank you for having me on. As always, I appreciate you so much.
In Conversation with Terry Shepard is a copyrighted presentation. All rights reserved. I'm Lisa Davis. Join Terry Shepard next time in Conversation.